Evening, everybody. Welcome back. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to everyone who actually watched the film on the premiere and stuff. So I just created this as a kind of a hangout almost session almost. I know that it was very very long form content in comparison to everything else that's been on the channel. I mean, 48 minutes is almost an eternity here on YouTube. So I did just want to say thank you and just created this hangout. Really, there is no agenda for it, to be honest. It is literally just okay. Someone's just saying that they can't hear me. Bear me 1 second. I'll try and figure this out right now because the inputs are correct. Da, 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 da. Yeah. So this is okay. This is the microphone, which is fine. Um, let's see. Let's do it here actually as well. Yeah, guys, if you can let me know, can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay now? GT, welcome. It is going to be on the channel anyway, so you can always watch this after the fact as well. But yeah, thank you to everyone who dialed in. There is no agenda or anything like that for this. It's literally just a hangout. I think Tim, who helped me actually film the whole thing, is going to come on shortly as well. But yeah, I just thought we'd just have a little bit of a hangout, basically. Thank you, Walter. To be honest, I've not done anything at all today. I've sent maybe one or two emails, but we got back from Barcelona late last night, and I stupidly hadn't recorded my podcast episode for this morning for the podcast, so I had to do that late last night before actually getting back to sleep. So today has been kind of like a day off, which has been nice because I'm typically always flat out working more than anything else. So yeah, Janine, thank you so much. I'm going to put that up. Thank you for that. I mean, look, because people ask me, which is why I put it in film format, because I can answer those kind of questions and talk about it, you know, here and there. But I think because it's a common question that I often get, I thought making a short film about it would make sense. So it's there so people can go and watch it. Um, yeah, it was an interesting kind of like shoot, almost like journey, filming that, because there were a few things that I didn't really understand, and there's so much that we didn't even touch on, like so much. There is so much more detail that we could have gone into, but in the confines of you create a film with a very short time span, I didn't want it to be like an hour and a half, 2 hour long kind of type thing. Um, there was so much more that we could have kind of elaborated on. There's actually so much that we shot that ended up on the editing floor that didn't end up being used. So we had to distill it down to maybe the core elements that we felt would convey the message as, I don't know, I say compellingly or efficient as possible, I guess. Um, but yeah, I mean, even last week we were talking about what if we were going to elaborate and go deeper into the story, we were talking about actually telling the story of what it was like out in Nigeria. But unfortunately, that that film that you've seen there cost about maybe 2.5, almost 3 grand to shoot, and that's of my own money that I'm never going to get back. Now, if we were going to go to places like Nigeria and show actually what it was like for me when I got there at 7, and try and chronicle the circumstances that I found myself in for those 10 years between 7, 8, 17, and 18, I priced it up and it's going to cost around about 25 grand to do so. And that's not the kind of money that I can afford to just throw into a film project for YouTube without really knowing that I'm going to get the money back. At 2.5, 3 grand, I can take that, but 25 grand to be able to do that story is isn't something that I can stomach. So there is so much more. There was an idea being that we debated last week, Tim and I, about maybe doing a GoFundMe, but I don't know. It was one of the situations where I don't feel comfortable asking for money, and if we don't raise the amount that we need, I'm still going to have to commit quite a large amount in terms of capital to make that happen. So it might be something that I'll get around to telling at some point in the future, because I think that will provide a lot of context in conjunction with this short film. But yeah, it's one of those ones that, for the time being, I hope that it's concise enough, and hopefully it gives people hope, and that's the most important thing. Um, I think sometimes you can really relate to people that you would kind of just see down the street, and not necessarily superstars like Kim K and Kanye and Jay and Beyonce, really. Although it's very, very nice to draw inspiration from those guys as well. Um, Cheers, Spencer. Appreciate that, mate. Thank you very much. Um, Listen, you have no idea. Like, literally, oh my god. So only a handful of people actually saw it beforehand, and they were like, "Oh my god, I felt like crying." And to be honest, there were certain parts during the day where we were filming this, where I was, yeah, it was emotional to say the least. So yeah, hopefully people kind of um feel inspired after it as well. Uh, Good. I like this. This is Amina saying that channels made the world of investing and finance look much less intimidating to me. The thing is, mate, all of these concepts that we talk about here on the channel, yeah, they're supposed to be like, they are deemed to be very, very complex and like confused, well, sophisticated, complex, like subjects, right? But ultimately, at the heart of it all, it's actually not. The fundamental principles are really, really simple. And this is where you can kind of like argue whether you need professional advice. I still believe that in some cases that you do need to take professional advice, because when you get to a certain level, there'll be certain things that you want to do as a retail investor that you just won't be able to do, and there'll be certain things as well that you can't access as a retail investor, where you have to take advice. But when you get to that point, you'll find out that you need that help and you need that advice. Therefore, you can go and choose whether you want to, go and take that advice and pay for those services. But I think for the longest time, financial services has been one where it's been deliberately made to be complicated, because there is so much money for these companies to earn by providing the services that they do. And that's not necessarily to the benefit of the retail investor. So this is where technology is great, and with technology comes competence and comes, I guess, um, the ability to look at things differently, and that's been really, really good. Well, certainly for my channel, and certainly for my journey. Like, through 16 years working in, from Portman Building Society all the way through to Canary Wharf, I learned very, very quickly that those principles aren't as complex as everybody made it out to be, as long as you took the time to really understand it. And that requires a little bit of like willingness to learn, and you know uh, willingness to dedicate time and energy towards it. It's not by any means a quick um, like a quick return or a quick kind of like reward. It does take time, it takes patience. You have to develop this over time, and you'll almost be in a position where it's never going to be perfect, because nothing ever is. It's always going to be an evolving journey. But the journey is the most important thing. It really, really is. And that's what I've come to learn. It's like people often focus too much on the destination, like where they want to get to, their end goal, like whatever that is, whether it's being a millionaire or just owning your own property. People are too obsessed about that end goal. Like, the journey is so important. The journey is where the growth is at. The journey is where you're going to like develop, where you're going to learn things that will actually bear fruit in other ways, or in other forums later on in life. The journey is where it's at. It really, really is. And my my journey is definitely testament to that. Like, if someone took me when I was 17 and put me into like a boardroom in Canary Wharf, like there would be no way on earth that I would be equipped to deal with any of that. No way. But the experiences and the places that I've been, the people that I met, the lessons that I learned along the journey, definitely kind of helped me build to that point. Like everything's like you can't connect the dots moving forward. You can only connect them going backwards. They all make sense at that point. When you're in the journey and it hurts and it's like difficult, yeah, it's really really difficult. And it may not make any sense. It may not, make sense at all at that point. But if you look back, it's like I can see it now, and that's kind of the same for me, really, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, I do this now because it's it's what I enjoy, it's what I know, and yeah, YouTube has given me this avenue to be able to have interactions with people and tell my story and share my knowledge, and hopefully have everything that I've kind of learned be a benefit to somebody else, and that somebody else could be another version of me when I was 24, 25, when I should have been investing and should have been doing this and that. It is an important thing to be able to share your journey and share your experiences and stuff, and YouTube is definitely a way for that. And actually, whilst I'm here, Marcelo, oh my god. Okay, listen, so Marcelo right here, dude, Marcelo, when I was in Hastings, he was my boy. He was one of the boys that I hung around with. Like, listen, we used to do everything together. Everything together. Dude, I don't know whether you're on a device where you can join me, but I'm going to put this in the chat. Hold up 1 second. I need to put this in the chat. Um I would love to speak to you, man. It's been a very, 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 very long time. I would love to speak to you. If you can hit that link and you can join me. If you're on a laptop, this will be amazing. But even if you're on your phone, it will be amazing to speak to you, mate. Because I've been following you. I do follow you on Facebook and everything, and I know, like, kids, you just got engaged and all that kind of stuff. But I can't remember the last time we spoke. It must have been the last time I saw you. Must have been at least 10 years ago, like probably 2011. I think the last time I saw you. So yeah, man, if you do have the time, by all means, come on, because I'd love to have a chat with you. I would love to have a chat with you. But yeah, man, um, this brings up memories. It really, really does. Just thinking about the stuff that me and Marcelo and the boys used to kind of get up to. Like, even like Marcelo was with me when I was producing music, and one of my other mates, Knight, he's actually a big music producer right now. Um, he They are one of my closest kind of like friends, if I could say that. And I was saying before that the whole YouTube thing and how it's provided options. And I haven't mentioned this just yet. I've mentioned this on Instagram, and I will do this on the live actually, because this will stay on the channel. So Ralek, how you doing? Um, I have an opportunity in the new year, in 2022. I'm going to be joining Channel 4 and a program called Secret Spenders. And we are casting at the moment for people, families, to take part in the show. So the premise essentially is that we will do a financial overhaul. So if you're looking to get like your finances in shape for 2022, you kind of having financial resolutions for the new year, this show might be really, really good for you. But yeah, I'm going to be part of the team there. The team is basically Anita Rani. Then we also have Anna Williamson as well, or Anna Whitehouse, sorry, who also helms the show. Then it's going to be me as the financial expert. So the plan is that we come in, we have a look at your finances, and we basically give you a few recommendations of how you can save money, but also how you can actually better position your financial lives to be in a place where you can utilize your money a little bit better. So as you know, if you follow me here, money is a tool, life is for living is my slogan. We're going to basically essentially do that. So we are casting for that show literally right now. I did post about this on Instagram, so if you're not following me on Instagram, the email address that you need to email to if you are interested in participating is moneysaving@southshore.uk. I'm just going to double check that just to make sure I don't get it wrong. I'm pretty sure that is the right one, but let me just double check. Yeah, it's moneysaving@southshore.uk. .uk. What I will do is I will put that into the chat, and I'll try and pin this as well. At South Shore. I mentioned it on the podcast this morning as well. So if you've not listened to the podcast, maybe you want to listen to. Okay, cool. So there we go. There it is. And can I pin this? I'm not sure that I can pin this from where I am right now. So let me do it on the other side, which will be over here. Let me just pin this. There we go. So the message that I've just pinned is the one that you would need. So email into that email address if you are interested in taking part in the show. We're not going to put all of your financial business out there. That's not what it's about. It's not about, exposing like you've got this much debt and you should be really more careful. It's nothing like that at all. It is about trying to give you the tools, the ammunition to really go off and, be the best that you can from a financial point of view and have the money that you are earning go a little bit further, but also help you build for the future as well. So if you are interested, you can use that link right there. I was going to have Tim come on. I wonder where he is. Let me just double check him actually, because Tim was the one. Let me just message him. He said he's all set, but I can't see him. I can't see him backstage. Right, bear me. Right, I think he's. I'm back in because Tim essentially. So little, you may not have known this, but the product that you saw, the film that you saw right there, was the second iteration. Like, I shot the first version, not with Tim, and it was an absolute disaster. I didn't like it at all. So Tim came in the second time round to kind of like provide a little bit more direction and stuff like that. And to be honest, he was brilliant in just trying to put it all together. And like the creative ideas, we bounced off each other quite well. But yeah, he is the one who is very much responsible for the look and feel of that film. Bear me one second. He's saying he's in here, but I can't see him. I'm going to post him that link again just to make sure that he's able to get in. Is that the right one? Let's just get rid of this quickly. Okay. Let's see if he's going to come in. Okay, this is a good question. Am I going to write a book? I'm not a good writer. Let's put it that way. I mean, I can write, but not to the point where I feel that I can write a compelling book. So it is in the works to write a book, but I just don't know how I would go about doing one, which is why I thought I'd make a short film, because I'm very comfortable on camera. So I felt like doing it on camera would actually make sense instead of writing a book. But that doesn't mean that the book is completely off the table. It isn't. I've been told for years and years and years. So Richard Horner, who was he was one of my sponsors in Canary Wharf. He was actually my manager. He was awesome. He was amazing. And like, people influenced you at different points. I wasn't able to get him into the film, but essentially he was probably the best manager that I had when I was in Canary Wharf, because he really tied into, and this is what I try to do on the channel. He sat me down and said, listen, what's this all about? What's your end goal? What's your objective? Like, what are you doing all of this for? Why are you here killing yourself, doing ridiculous hours, earning all this money? To what end is it? And he kind of helped me have clarity and build clarity within my mind. He helped me with things like visualization, for example, like dream boards, all that kind of stuff. He really helped me out with all of those things and making sure that I was very focused on what I wanted to achieve whilst I was in Canary Wharf, because it was a massive, massive, massive opportunity, and not that many people actually get there. And he was great. And obviously, with him digging deep and asking me those kind of questions, he knew what my backstory was, and he always said you should write a book because it would make a really good book. And I did give him credit at the end of this film, essentially. So a book may be on the cards. I said that this year we ended up with a film. If I look at my goals and my objectives for 2022, it is still on there. But like I said, I'm not a good writer, so I would like to think so, but I need help in actually writing a book because I don't even know where to begin. I know that I can pack a lot more into a book, but it has to be X amount of pages, right? It can't be 1,000 pages long. So I'd have to pick very, very carefully what we do include in there. But yeah, potentially. All right, so Tim's in here now. Bear me 1 second. Yeah, there he is.
Technical glitch. Talk about it.
All right, bear me 1 second, mate, because I can't hear you in my headphones, and I just need to tweak this. I think I know which one it is. There we go. I can hear you now through my headphones.
Got me.
How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. You?
I'm not bad, mate. I'm not bad at all. Not
Nice.
bad at all. How do you feel after now that it's actually out?
It's done. I'm so glad it's done. No, it's been so long coming. There's been sitting on hard drives and going through processes of editing and re-editing and trailers and whatever else. So to finally have the final piece out for people to watch and finally hear your story in, I would say full, but not quite full, kind of in 3/4. It's really special to be a part of it. I got off the train at 3 minutes to 5 and I sprinted up the hill from the station. Got home. My cat was calling for food and I ignored him for 45, but it opened the laptop and jumped straight on so I could be a part of the premiere. So
no, thank you for like putting it all. Well, you certainly had like a massive influence, certainly in terms of how it actually looks from a visual point of view, the flow, the editing, the music, that selection. You had a massive input in that. I definitely couldn't have done it if I sat there and tried to edit. There's no way I would have had it come out anywhere near as good as what you've had it come out there. So no, thank you.
No, and thank you for trusting me. I think it's quite something to just pull in basically a near stranger that I was, more an acquaintance than anything else, and then you kind of welcome me into your life essentially, with a camera is quite trusting of you. So it's a privilege. I mean, that's what I love. That's what I love doing. Documentaries is my thing. So to be able to capture your life story, and my first documentary. So I mean, for you to risk it all with me was a privilege. So
it wasn't really a risk though, mate, to be fair. Like I said, the first one that I shot was like, oh my God, it was like, it just wasn't there. And I was like, no one's going to like watch this. It didn't really convey anything in the way that I wanted it to.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, as long as you did better than that one, you're always going to be on a winning streak. But having said that though, like, I'll tell you what, guys, seriously, it was like a military operation in terms of what we were going to shoot, where we were going to shoot, who we're going to shoot, what the timing, everything. And on that day, it was an absolute disaster. Like, what time was I supposed to pick you up in Essex?
It was meant to be 6:30 in the morning, something like that.
Right. So get this right. So Tim lives in Essex. I live in the Midlands. So I had to get up at the crack of dawn. I mean, as in like, I left my house at like 4 o'clock to get down to him. I hit the M6, the M1, the M6, the M25 accident. Did not move for like 2 hours. So we were supposed to pick up my foster dad at like 10 a.m. in the morning, or something like that. In Hastings, so we could get to the location, we could shoot, and then we'd have enough time to do like loads of B-roll and all this kind of stuff. What time did we get down to Hastings? We got down to Hastings, what? It was something like 12 o'clock or something like that?
No, it was later than that. It was like 1:15 because we still had to charge on the way down.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we lost so many hours, and it was like, oh my God, this is going to be an absolute disaster. but thankfully we did plan like the locations and all that kind of stuff. We did kind of like
Yeah,
organize all of those, and
yeah,
in the end we were blessed with really good weather that
we were,
day.
we
Like
were.
really, because it would have been horrible if it had been chucking it down that entire day. It would have been an absolute mess.
I just think about all the outdoor stuff. I mean, just going through footage and whatever else, putting the edit together, I realized how lucky we were with the weather. But imagine we didn't get any of that outdoor stuff. I mean, it just wouldn't have added to. We would have just lost that whole section. So I mean, the weather was incredible.
Yeah, we were very lucky. Then the following day, so we did day one, which was down in like Hastings and stuff like that. So we shot in location there. Then day two, we shot in London, didn't we? So we had a
Yeah,
studio that we did a lot of the studio based stuff. So
yeah.
like in the more cropped scenes, that was studio based essentially. And then we went to Canary Wharf in the afternoon. So it worked out well in the end. We didn't have any hiccups on day two, thankfully. I mean, I got a parking ticket
Did you?
somehow. Yeah, I did.
Oh, where?
Literally parking right outside the studio. Mate, look, I paid for the parking, but apparently, I'll say a parking ticket. It was like a traffic ticket because apparently it was a one-way street and I shouldn't have driven down that road. But it's like cars are pointing both ways. So if they're pointing both ways, it means you can drive down. Anyway, I got a parking fine that arrived and
This is London.
was winging its way to me in no time. But aside from that, it was okay. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was a good day. Really
Yeah.
was. Came together so nicely.
So, I mean, as people are just saying here, it felt totally congruent and the content being portrayed. Thanks, mate. Really do appreciate that.
Yeah.
With all these things, you can never really know what it's going to look like at the end of the day, and that's, I guess, was maybe one of the concerns that I had. So
Yeah.
I don't really know how it. I don't know whether did you kind of. I guess because you were going to edit and you filmed it. You kind of had a rough idea of what it was going to formulate like overall.
Yeah, I had an idea of how it was going to come together. To be fair, we didn't plan every shot, every word, every scene. We could have, but we went for the more organic route because we didn't actually know what the outcome was going to be, what the information was that we were going to capture. And you can't really plan those things because if you plan them, you're going to not get the organic answers that you're looking for. And actually, you were figuring your life out in front of a camera. And so looking back, it was hard. I mean, I remember building up in my own mind after you and I met for the first time to kind of go through the story and whatever else. I remember coming home thinking, I don't know how this is going to come together, but I know it's going to come together because it's your story, it's your life. It has to come together. And I was like, well, I'm going to have to figure this out. And so getting all the pieces together, laying the footage out, lining up audio with video, like getting all that right was really exciting because I suddenly, in the editing process, I was like, I've got all this gold. And it was just like seeing a piece of jewelry come together. And as you and I sat and went through the first draft and kind of tweaked the order and tweaked what shot should go in and what should come out and whatever else, it was really such a special process. So, I mean, it wasn't something I knew exactly the order, but I knew it would make sense.
Yeah. I mean, I think the reality was that, like, there was a part of me was like, I have no idea what's going to be said.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, if Mandy went, you were a little shit to work to work with, you were an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
Then that would have to be in it, and like, to a certain extent, I knew that she wasn't going to say that because like I have a really good relationship with her and stuff. But things like my foster dad, I didn't know his side of the story when it comes to the whole, fostering and all that. So a lot of that was very much like, he learned a lot of the stuff in the moment filming that, really, because he didn't have any idea that, I was sent on the plane on
Yeah.
my own.
Yeah.
He didn't know anything about that. He didn't know about whether I did schooling out there, or he had no idea.
Yeah.
And I guess in hindsight, that's probably added a little bit to it, in the fact that, whilst we didn't know how it was going to come out, it added to maybe the sentiment of it, maybe a little bit. I'm not sure, but hopefully it did.
It really did. I mean, following you with my camera as your foster dad came out of the house and he walked up to you, like, it was almost that I didn't exist there. I don't know if you noticed in the shot itself, but that moment just kind of happened organically, and that literally wasn't set up for anyone who was thinking maybe that shot was set up. It really wasn't. Yeah, man, it's such a privilege. It really, really was.
Yeah, I guess if I had one regret with this, I wish that I could have done this with my foster mum in it, just to get her side. I don't know whether that was me, Tim, or whether that was your cam. I think that might have been his cam. He's coming back. Was that you, Tim, or was that me? I think it might have been him. That's the only one regret that I have. I wish that I could have done this with my foster mum still alive, so I could have got her point of view on the whole thing. Because I was closest to her more than anything else, as most kids are. You're close with your mum, and I wish that I would have been able to capture maybe a little bit of her more so. But it's one of those situations where there's nothing you can do about that kind of stuff, really, to be fair. And it is what it is now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think maybe I just wasn't there, though, to be honest. So I'm not sure that it would have made as much sense. But if I could do it again, I would have loved to have her there.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Sorry, I disappeared there. My Mac nearly died, so I just need.
That's all right. That's all good.
Yeah, I was wondering about that, to be honest, because I was like, obviously your mom was your mom. It's like that's an integral part. But I think it was really special nonetheless that we got to see your foster dad and you were able to have that conversation. I couldn't believe that I was capturing that content, because I was like, you can't make this stuff up. Like, you see this stuff on TV, you see this in documentaries, and I was like, oh, I'm sitting here seeing this for the first time. Like, you've never heard this, I've never heard this, and I'm getting to capture it on camera. Like, what a privilege. So I really, mad respect for your dad, because I mean, you guys haven't had a conversation in a long time. There was a lot of emotion, a lot of thoughts, a lot of all sorts going on. And the fact that you didn't even know if he was going to actually rock up and be able to speak on camera. Who knows what he was going to say?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the first edit to it, I know that people were like, so where the hell is your foster mum?
Yeah.
And like, obviously there's a tribute to her at the end, but I was very, very acutely aware that we didn't necessarily touch on that in the conversation with him. Because the last time that I saw him before that shoot filming that was literally, actually, I didn't even get to see him then. I didn't get to see him then, actually. It was a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Very, very, very long time. We didn't talk about, obviously, my foster mom, Sylvia. We never spoken about that. And I was acutely aware that we didn't mention that as part of the film, but I also didn't want that to be a massive distraction from it either. And that was some of the feedback that we got originally, that where the hell is she? Like, where is she? Like, which is why we thought, okay, we've got to address that with maybe a little bit of a tribute at the end.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Carly, a long journey awaits you, bro. Appreciate that. Kev, what? I don't get what you're saying there, mate. What?
I'm a bit confused as well. I was like, oh, who's the guy?
What? Hang on a second. Let me just bring this up, because I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean, mate. When there's 4 views, and I think yous were besides a fireplace. I don't know. Was that something to do with the camera cutting out? I have no idea, mate. I'm a little confused on that one. But yeah, I mean, look, literally on that point there, my foster dad gave me pictures like on the day of filming that I'd never, ever, ever seen before. Those pictures are some of the ones that you saw
Yeah.
that were through the film. Those are the only pictures I have of me as a baby. I don't have any at all, like zero. Like most people have got, childhood photos that they can have with family. I have none of that. None of it. I've got no family pictures at all. None. Because the reality is really I was fostered then. I grew up on 2 continents.
Yeah.
One, and really I never really knew. I didn't know my real family, and I don't really know my foster parents' family, if that makes any sense. I was with my foster parents for 8 years. I was with my real family for 10 years, and then I've been on my own ever since. So family's built over time. I don't have that kind of like foundation, that knowledge of what family is actually like. I have no idea what that's like. So I don't have things like pictures. I don't have the typical or traditional sense of family that most people have,
Mm.
because I've never had, like,
Mm.
I guess, family, if you will, in that regard, because of obviously everything that's happened. I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing. I still try and figure that out right now. I don't know.
I think
Who knows?
that's the card. That's the card you were dealt, and I really commend you again. I mean, just listening to the backstory, listening to what you've gone through, and I said in the chat earlier while we were premiering it, like honestly, I have mad respect for you, and I think your audience. I mean, people here on this live stream, people who might have watched earlier or whatever else. I mean, for you to discuss this on a public platform for anyone to watch, mad respect for you, honestly.
Yeah, but you know what, mate? The thing is, right? The thing is, like, this has happened to a lot of kids back in the 70s. I'm
Sure.
not the only one. I
Yeah.
guarantee you right now that if another Nigerian who happened to have been born in the 70s were to watch this, they'll be like, "Yep, I know that." Because it happened to a lot of people. I
Mm.
know there were kids. There were a pair of kids who were fostered just literally down the road from us on Quebec Road. I mean, I had a very fortunate journey with my foster parents because they were just decent people. Some kids weren't that lucky. There were kids who were fostered down the road from me, like literally 8 doors down the road from me, that were being fed cat food, dog food, literally. And I'm not joking. I'm being deadly fucking serious. Who were fed cat food and dog food by their foster parents. And the only reason that came to light was, as what would typically happen is, my parents would come down for the summer, take me for 2 weeks to London. These kids got picked up for a 2 week break with their real parents in London. And as they're doing food shopping, the kids went around picking up cat food and dog food. And that's how it came to light that actually these kids aren't being fed real food. They're being fed cat food and dog food, animal food. So like, this isn't like something that is uncommon. Most kids, like, from who were born in the 70s, that were from born to Nigerian parents who were here working and studying, were fostered. And like, you think about it now, it's absolutely nuts that you could just put an ad in the paper and then you go drop off your kid and like, there you go. But it was a completely different time back then. Completely and utterly different time back then. And I'm lucky. I'm very, very lucky that I had decent foster parents, because I could have quite easily have been those kids that got fed animal food. And then God knows what would have happened,
Yeah.
So this isn't by any means like kind of like a unique story. And I would love to like see maybe some comments from kids who are of a similar age, born in the 70s, who may have actually gone through exactly the same thing. Because there were a lot of us that got brought up in that kind of environment, where we then shipped off back home to like Nigeria and God knows where, Ghana, and then some of them never even came back. It's mad. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah. It's one of those things.
Someone saying there, would I vacation in Nigeria? Honestly, mate, no, absolutely not. See, this is the other side of the story that potentially could be told.
Yeah.
The thought of going back to Nigeria absolutely scares me. I went back when my dad died. A few years, well, I say a few years, must be like 10 years ago now. And no word of a lie, I carried my passport everywhere I went because I was just scared that someone was going to either steal my passport, or my passport would go missing, then I'd never be able to come back. Like, I would never, ever, ever want to go back out, ever want to go back out there. Because for me, it was, it was a talk, it was, I say this and I say this, I want to say it with the most amount of honesty, it was torture. And even when I went back 10 years ago, I mean, look, I left that place in 1998. I went back in, when did I go back? Actually, it would have been, I moved to London in 2011, no, 12, 11, 12. I went back in 2011.
Yeah.
So, yeah, about 10 years ago. And I went back to the same place that we lived. And trust me, it was exactly the same. The building was a bit more rundown. The roads were still undeveloped. It was still pretty much the bush, pretty much. And that's, at that point, that was how many years on? Almost 20 years on from when I left there. There is no way that I have no desire to go back there. My biggest fear is getting trapped back out there. So I wouldn't go back there for a vacation. It's not a place that I would decide to go to because it has too many bad memories for me personally. But yeah, I'm just gonna read this from Janine. Therapy is good, helps you make sense of unusual early years. I'm in the process. I'm only sad I didn't do it earlier. Very, very true. I mean, a lot of people don't actually get to actually confront some of that stuff that they went through in the past. Trust me, it's taken me a number of years to be able to even want to even think about any of that. And to be honest, when we were talking about, going over to Nigeria and actually shooting, like, it makes me nervous, even just the thought of that. Like, but I would love to be able to capture on camera and give people the real sense of what that was like. It's really,
we've got to do it at some point. We've got to do it.
I mean, I guess we will do it at some point. It's just, if it's going to cost 20 to 25 grand to do, I need to figure out how we actually make that happen with the cost that is involved for it to do. Because it is about flights, it's about equipment, it's about, making sure we get transportation security. It's about making sure that we get all the sound right. There's a lot of technicalities that go into it. But seriously, if, just to be able to capture, even just the school that I went to, be able to capture that last place that I lived where I was watching the planes go over every single day, that even 10 years ago was exactly the same, but even more run down. Just be able to capture that on camera for people to see. It will give you a really, really good insight as to why I view the world in the way that I do, in the fact that, mate, listen, like, we have it rosy over here. Like, we have it cushy over here, like, big time. We have opportunity out here. Like, over there is no opportunity. It's like despair. Like, you're in a barrel of despair, pretty much. You're in a time capsule where nothing changes around you, but you're getting older. And literally, you lose all hope being there. And it would be nice to capture some of that, but it's how we actually make that happen. So maybe a thought for a future project to see how we actually get it to happen. What's this? Asif, how you doing, mate? As Yoda would say, so happy to share the journey, Pete. Really good, thanks, mate. This is interesting with Carly. I know someone who's making a documentary about an adoption story. If you need an intro, it always comes down to funding, compelling stories, but so hard to get the cost. Listen, if you could introduce, that would be great. Actually, that would be really, really good. Yeah. To be honest, I have had a look at maybe funding options. So I'm still going through that at the moment. But in order for us to do it, so this is one thing that we kind of, well, maybe we didn't pre-plan for this, but it's only credit to the fact that it came out so well in terms of Tim filming this and editing it all together, that when it got all put together, we were like, oh my God, this flows really, really well. It looks really, really good. We need to try and see if we can get this into like media, into the general media. But the reality is that in order for it to be accepted into the general media, it has to be shot on a certain type of camera to a certain level. And we didn't know any of that going into it. It was literally like, let's just shoot this and put it together and people can watch it online. So yeah, if we're going to go that extra step and go over and piece together that entire journey, we want to do it, especially if it's going to cost 25 grand, 30 grand to do. We want to do it with the right cameras so that it could potentially end up within the media, and it could potentially end up maybe on Netflix or Amazon, someplace like that. We want to make sure that it's worthwhile, because otherwise it's 25k, 30k for
YouTube.
Basically, yeah. And unfortunately, I'm not going to make the money back on the 2.5 grand, 3 grand that I spent on this film. There's no way I'm going to make that money back. Very much less so if I spend 25 grand on a film. It's not even remotely viable to do it. So any introductions, Carly, would be amazing if you know someone.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Let's have a look. Kevin, what are you saying, Kev? I've seen screenshots of the picture of a small baby in one of your videos. Never laugh at me again. Just give an opportunity to explain. All right, I get what you're saying right there, but I didn't know that's what you were saying before. Let me just go back to your. Right, now that makes sense. Now it makes sense in the context that you're talking about the actual picture that's in there. It makes sense now that you've explained it.
I get it now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, got it. Right, Kev, you're making sense. I was reading that going, what is this guy talking about?
Yeah. So this is Abel. Shame you have a bad experience of Nigeria. I take my children down regularly. They have good memories of Nigeria. And I think probably the biggest thing is, I was taken there against my will.
Yeah.
Like literally sent for. Like, get in a car, you're getting on a plane, going there for 2 weeks, and then that 2 weeks turns into 10-year stint. So, and then you think about, 7 years old, I didn't speak the language. Then literally, this is where they pre-planned this so well. I was in school 2.5 weeks later. Like literally, I landed, I was in school 2.5 weeks later. So not only was it like, oh, you're going to come for 2 weeks and there's me counting down the days to come back to the UK. It's like, no, you're not going back. And actually you're starting school in two days time. And I didn't speak the local language. So there's me, a kid who speaks English like a British person, the amount of bullying that I went through in school just because I spoke differently. And that's where a lot of my bad experience of Nigeria comes in, because you go from something that you've been surrounded with this environment that you come accustomed to, thrown into a completely different reality and just being told, there you go and deal with it. And like, you're 7, you're 8 years old. How are you going to deal with that? I wasn't equipped to deal with it. I wasn't prepared for it in any way, shape or form. And it's not like, I could have cried to my parents and they would have confronted me. They were like, just crack on and get on with it. Like, deal with it. That was their mentality, essentially. So my experience is an unfortunate one. I know it's not the same for everybody. I've got, one of the kids in Lagos, Lere, actually, he was one of my close mates out there. He's in London right now, and he's probably watched this, and he will watch this. But he has great memories of Nigeria. He goes back all the time. Like Lagos, the party scene, he's well into it. He's very, very well known for some of the stuff that he's done out there. He has great memories of the place. It just isn't the case for me, because of the circumstances in which I was taken there, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, and she is saying exactly the same thing that I'm saying here. Not all parts of Nigeria remain unchanged or undeveloped as what you described. Well, that depends on your social class. My parents are not wealthy. My parents don't live in Lekki or Victoria Island or anywhere like that. They don't live in those areas. So the areas where they live are very much undeveloped, pretty much. And so social economics do come into it. You have the luxury of, if you're here in the UK earning UK money, you can send money home. You can build yourself a house and have a really nice environment for your kids. My parents did none of that.
Yeah.
None of that. Zero of that. Even after working here for so many years, My parents did not build a house. My dad built one a few years before he died. And it's not like a plush palace that he built. He built a house that could potentially, it just literally acts as a roof over their head. So, you know, the way you've been able to set up for your children is completely different to the way my parents were able to set up for me. My experience was not a positive one in any way, shape, or form. I do know that there are very, very nice places in Lekki, very, very nice places in Victoria Island, very, very wealthy, affluent places. Trust me, I see the places all the time, because at the end of the day, people are saying to me, you should come and work in Nigeria. You could get a really nice place. You get paid a lot of money because I'm in financial services. I'm just like, I'm not too sure about that myself. But,
Yeah.
same thing with South Africa and everything, right? I mean, there are some very, very nice places in South Africa,
Well, I
all
mean,
over the continent.
yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, every country is going to have the pros and it's going to have the cons. It's going to have the really good memories and the really bad memories. I mean, I think about me as a South African. I love my country. I really do. I mean, there were opportunities here for us to take hold of. That's why we moved here. It's not like I ran away from South Africa. It's just there were opportunities here to take hold of. But it's exactly like that back home. I mean, there were real pros, and I absolutely loved the country. And then there were other things that, I mean, I'm not going to go on a whole negative rant, but there are things from back home that I'd rather just block out of my mind and never choose to think about again, because that's just the nature of it. That's just the nature of countries, and in particular third world countries. I mean, living in a first world country now for the first time is so weird, because I've become accustomed to a third world lifestyle. Being a white person from South Africa, I was privileged. I grew up in a privileged home, and so I didn't slum it in South Africa like the vast majority do. But man, it's weird getting used to a first. I mean, we've been here nearly 16, 17 months. I'm still getting used to it. I'm still getting used to the first world privileges that a lot of people just take for granted and just think is normal. It's not normal. It's very abnormal. Well, it's maybe normal to you, but for the rest of the world, it's really not. So look, pros and cons to each country. I mean, you could find cons and pros here. I mean, it's just like that everywhere.
Absolutely, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
So I know you've got a jet at some point, Tim. I don't know. Have you got any final thoughts on the whole film and everything, or?
I do. I mean, I think it's just so inspiring, honestly. Like, there is no reason for anyone to discount themselves or to think that they've had a bad start to life, or that they don't have opportunities, or that they are restricted. None of us are restricted. None of us are held back. Each of us have a gifting. So that's something, even in this whole editing process, I've just realized that each of us have giftings. Each of us have a voice. Each of us have gone through a unique set of circumstances for a particular reason. And actually, I think the joy of online is that we've got the privilege of being able to be honest and to share our real life stories. And so for you could have maintained a professional approach, but being real, being honest, I think adds to you even greater credentials. I think it adds a depth to you that you wouldn't necessarily see if you just remained professional online, because then you would just be a financial advisor. But actually, no, you Pete, the financial advisor, with a flipping soul that's gone through life. You've gone through struggles, and you're okay to be honest about it. So for me, it's really inspired me. I mean, I'm new on YouTube. I don't know where I'm going with YouTube. I'm honestly, I'm stuck in a bit of like a downward spiral at the moment, not knowing kind of the direction. But I do know that I have got a voice, and that I've got a story, that I've got experiences that I want to share in some unique way. And so I really would love to somehow, hopefully, we can make Nigeria happen for you, because I think there really is such an integral part of your story that has been touched on, but that can go so much deeper. So I'm hoping at some point we can figure out a way to do that. But just again, thank you for letting me do this. And yeah, just to finally have it out in the public domain for people to watch, for people to appreciate who you are as a person. I really do appreciate you, mate. And professionally, thank you for letting me do this, but also I look at you as a friend now because I feel like I've got to know you. And I really want to thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And yeah, I look forward to the next one.
Nah, dude, seriously, like literally, your gift is filmmaking. Trust me. Like after I saw I think I saw a snippet of what you put together, and I was like, okay, nah, this dude. That's when I knew that it was going to come out really, really well, just from like the first edit that you showed me, and that is your gift, mate. And you know, YouTube is here as a visual medium for video, so mate, just utilize that because that really is your gift, man.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
And don't doubt yourself either. Like seriously.
Thank
For
you.
anyone who's watched this, and I know that there were a couple of comments around the way it was shot and the way it was all put together, mate, that was all you. I might have had a little bit of input around, you know, I want it in this little white box from a stylistic point of view, but the whole music selection, the sequencing, that was you, mate. So you should be very, very proud of what you shot and edited there, mate, because I definitely couldn't have done it. I definitely couldn't have done it. And there won't be that many people who could actually shoot in that way. So you're definitely gifted in that department.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you.
And someone's saying there, Tim is incredibly talented.
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you.
Cool,
thank
man.
you very much. Well, mate, thank you so much. Really is a privilege to jump on here and just chat and hang out. It really is so cool.
Cool, man. Cheers, man. I've got Marcelo on here as well. Actually, I've not seen this dude in years and years and years and years. So once you're off, Tim, I'm gonna bring Marcelo on, and we're gonna have a little chat because I've not spoken to this guy in such a long time, man. But cheers, Tim.
Amazing.
Appreciate it.
Well,
Catch you in a bit. Cheers, mate. Bye. All right, listen, I've got to bring this dude on because it's been a very, very long time, and yeah. Look, I apologize if you're tuning into the channel because you think this is going to be like an investment Q&A or something like that, right? But this is not going to be an investment Q&A or anything. But I've not spoken to this dude for ages. Marcelo, Tommy guns with you. Cool. I'm good, man.
Yeah, not too bad, brother. You all right, though?
I'm all right, man. How's the family and everything? You recently got engaged, right?
You know what? Just last week, man. You know, there's a little one here, right here. You know, listen, happy birthday, brother. And congratulations on the program and that, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
Very proud of you, brother. Proud of you, man. How's it going?
Thank you, man. No, things are going okay, man. Things are going really, really cool.
Right.
But yeah, dude, it's been a very, very long time, my guy. It's been a long, long time.
You know what? Just watching that program, it brought me back memories. You know what I mean? It's like I couldn't believe you went back home. You know what I mean? It's like, this guy's brave to go back there. You know what I mean? to do all these things. And I mean, I've been following you for quite a while. It's been a while, and just recently, Shav asked about you recently, and because he's not into all these social networking and stuff, so I had to basically give him a little, you know, catch up on what's going on or what you've been up to, what you've been doing. And everyone is proud of you, bro. You know what I mean? Well done, man. Well done. You know?
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it, man. I did speak to Ariel.
Oh,
like
right.
Maybe 2 or 3 months ago. Like he's doing really, really well as well on the fitness side. Like
he is, yeah.
He's doing
well.
really, really well. But yeah, man, it's like, but I follow you, I follow Ariel because you are the only two that I know that are on social media and everything still at the moment. But
still there.
Yes, still there. And yeah, I follow you guys all the time, man. And it's nice to actually see your face, man. It's been a very, very long time, mate.
It has been a long time because I think I left Hastings before you. Yeah, because after I lost my grandmother, and it was a game changer for me because I needed to leave Hastings, and but at that time you was making your power moves already. You understand? Because
I don't know how much of power moves they were at that point. I was just like, no, dude, I need to be in bank.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think you had opened your eyes way before all of us. You know. Because at that time I was still working in Jade, if you remember, at Jade, opposite Argos in Hastings. And suddenly you were so busy with your work and stuff like that. Like I saw you. It was just like a quick thing. You know what I mean? Like, and but I knew exactly what life is about because I think we were the oldest one among everyone. It was me, Ariel, and yourself. We three of us at the same age right now. And we knew what's going on, and when the time is right to start making power moves, as I call it here. And because as soon as I left, I came back. I didn't see you at that time. I heard like you was in Eastbourne somewhere working, which made sense today after watching that. You know what I mean? So and Hastings since then, bruv, I've been there once. I've never been back. It's been nearly 15, 14 years now. It's been a while, you know.
I've been down, including the time for the filming, twice.
Yeah.
One for a wedding, one for a funeral, then one for filming. It's exactly the same. It's the same as it was back then, pretty much. Infrastructure, building-wise, it's not changed at all, man. It's not changed at all.
Wow. I mean, myself, real estate and also security industry right now, because I just finished. I moved from London. I live in Oxford right now.
Okay.
So just got into my property line. I got my first mortgage. Thank you. And
nice.
having babies right now. I just recently got engaged. Yeah. So you haven't had a chance to meet my eldest one. She's gonna be 16 next month. And the little one now is 1 year old. 16. Yeah, 16, bro. That's, as I said, you know what I mean? Everything changed because I don't know what happened at that time. You know what I mean? It was like that person went there, that person went there, da. And then what makes me very, very happy today is what's happening. You know what I mean? So you are more than a friend to me. It's like if people knew how we grew up in Hastings or how we used to do it, because I mean, I was into music, but I wasn't really that focused in that department until I met you. You know what I mean? Even my writing game took a different route because, you know, you wrote your stuff, the production side of it. I always knew you, you know, you was a gifted person. So let's just say that, you know, you always had that. And I mean, as I said, you're more than a friend to me. It's more like a brother because since we met, we took off from there, you know. And we've had ups and downs, not between us two, but on that community. You know, we had a lot of problems because that video, like when I watched that, it was so much like emotions going on through me. And I even said to my missus, because I was driving when I saw you. You know, when I was watching, I was just like that. Because when you, okay, baby, I'm talking to your uncle here. Yeah, and how to explain to you, because it's so much, because a lot of people don't know the background where Pete K Karam or Pete K's, you know, how you got to that level. You know what I mean? If they go back, they will understand, you know what I mean? The struggles, you know, we went through, you know, you went through, I went through, and we had to be focused. You know, it wasn't easy, like living in Hastings at that time when we was there. It was like some dramas, like, you know, and stuff like that and whatnot. And I know you had a madness in Spain. Sorry, guys. You had a madness in Spain, you know what I mean? And that's something that wasn't explained in there. Like, you know, man. I just couldn't wait to watch this, you know, this mini documentary. But it's an eye opener for a lot of people, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Me knowing you, it just brought back memories, and I can't say how huge I'm proud of you, brother. You know what I mean? So
I appreciate it, man.
Keep doing what you keep doing what we're doing. We're here, and yeah, definitely. I'll be contacting you soon for the wedding. You know what I mean? So
yeah, cool.
You're coming through.
Actually, you're not actually too far from me because if you're in Oxford, I come past Oxford on the way down to London a lot of the time. So you're not far from me at all. So we need to catch up. We definitely
most
need to
definitely
catch up properly. So
yeah,
man, it's like what I'll do is I'll ping you a message on Facebook. Drop me your number or something like that. And the next time I'm around, I'll let you know where I'm at. We can catch up then, and I can get to meet the little one.
Definitely, you know, you meet the whole family. You know what I mean? Because we just been celebrating for the past like a week because it's been 9 years I've been with the same lady because things change in life. You know?
Yeah,
9
that's a
years
big
and
change for you. That's a
I don't
big
know
change
because
for
when
you,
you
bro.
left, yeah, as soon as you left, you know, you became into your own world right now, and it had to be changes because it was so congested in Hastings. It was too many of us doing different things. Now that I look back, like I'm good, brother. You're good, and Ariel is doing quite well. Shav is doing perfectly well, and you know the people that were around us. Because for those who don't know, he was a little duo in the band. Like that was them two. That was Pete and Marcelo told me there. You know what I mean? I
Do
still
you
got
remember?
the album,
Do
you
you remember
know.
the hoodie?
I still got.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Oh,
Have you still got it?
oh, mate. Oh, mate. No.
You
At the
know what?
gutter.
Dude, listen. I don't know if I've still got that. I might have it in a CD somewhere, but I
Yeah.
don't have
Yeah.
any of the
Sorry.
music. Well, maybe I've got a little bit of the music, but I don't have. We recorded a lot of music back then with
Yeah.
Mitsima, Michelle, and a few
Oh,
other people.
bloody hell. Sorry. Oh, good memories, bro. Good memories, man. You know?
Yeah, I don't
I
think
don't
I've
know.
got that album. I might have to go. I might have to go dig it out, see if I have got it, man. I don't
You
think
know,
I have though.
I need to pay my mom a visit because she's still up in Northwest London, and I think I still got that album. I still got it, man. It was wow.
It can never see
If
the
I
light of day.
hate
Let's put it that way. It can
exactly,
never
you
see the
know,
light of day.
yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? So yeah, and obviously Nate is doing quite well, you know, with his music.
Mate,
So
dude, he's
excellent, you know.
killing it. He's absolutely killing it.
Yeah.
He is doing, oh my God. Like, I speak to him all the time. He is on a
Oh,
completely
that's
different
good, man.
plane right now. Like, a couple of months ago, I came across a piece of music. I was like, dude, I'm gonna record something. You know what I mean? And I recorded it with him actually in his studio in Soho, and it kind of like put
Yeah.
that fire back in my belly for like the whole music thing, like the whole writing and just getting into the studio and creating. I'm
Yeah.
toying around doing a video with Tim, getting Tim to shoot a video for it, but I'm kind of like, I
Okay.
don't know I don't know if it belongs on this channel or not, but it was a bit of fun. It was a nice bit of fun.
Mm, it
But
was,
yeah,
yeah.
man.
I'm still into that little bit music because I'm covering the Spanish and Portuguese market at the moment. Like the
Hmm.
youngsters that I know today. So mainly on the production and right side of it. Production means like I know someone who does that kind of thing. You're better
Yeah,
than me when it comes to producing and stuff. That 100%. And
I've not
just
produced
hoping
anything
now.
for over 12 years, mate. I've not touched the keys in
Wow,
12 years. I have not done
serious.
anything. No, dude, like I went cold turkey on that. I went cold turkey on it big time.
It's mad. I mean, for everyone in here that's watching this man here, like I say you're God's gifted, you know what I mean? It's like what was the nickname that we gave you? Was yeah, the kid with the golden touch. That's exactly Guru used to say that all the time, you know what I mean? You know, Guru used to say that, like that is that guy, you know what I mean? I was like, you know, it was mad, you know what I mean? I had fun,
Yeah,
you know what
man.
I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I had fun growing up, and obviously you're still around and we're all doing things, you know what I mean? So that's the most important thing is it's the ladder that we're on right now. Here you go, baby.
Absolutely, man. My camera
Yeah,
battery is gonna die, so I just need to swap that out really
I see.
quickly. But no, man, it's so good to see your face, man, and actually literally speak to you because it's been a long time, man. It's really nice to speak to you.
Thank you. Likewise,
But
brother.
but yeah, man,
It's
like
been
we
a
need to catch
pleasure.
up. Now that I know that you're
Yeah,
in Oxford and that's not too far from me, we should definitely catch up. But
yeah.
yeah, bro, I appreciate it, dude.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
Thank you, man.
But yeah,
Cool.
drop me your number, and then
Yeah,
obviously
cool.
we're gonna talk more anyway. But
Yeah. What
I
I'll
have to
do,
say to you, I enjoyed the yeah. Yeah, I will. Go and get that. Thank you.
I'm literally dropping you my number in on Facebook right now.
Sweet.
Just done, literally, just done. So yeah, man, let's catch up properly.
Yeah, I got it, bro. Yeah.
Cool, man. All right. Listen, give my
Wow.
regards to the missus and everyone, yeah?
I appreciate that. Thank you, brother.
Cool, man. Catch you later, Marcelo.
Okay. All right, keep
Peace.
it up, brother. Yeah.
Peace,
Prayers.
man. Bye.
Take care. All right. Come on, Jaja.
All right, guys. Apologies, that was a bit of a sidetrack, but I've not spoken to him for a very, 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 very long time. And yeah, he'll appreciate more than others the vibe of Hastings and what it was like and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm conscious of time. We're an hour and 10 minutes into this right now. I don't want to take up too much more of your Monday evening. I was going to say Tuesday then. But thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, Andy, for all of the birthday wishes. Really, really do appreciate it. Carly, thank you for being here. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here. And yes, video tomorrow. I'm going to talk a little bit more about tax and crypto. There's some very, very. I've been trying to find an accountant that can actually come on the channel and actually have a proper discussion about what you should and should not be doing when it comes to cryptocurrencies and tax. So, what I've been doing through a little bit of today is digging through the HMRC website around some of the rules and regulations, what they expect, some of their definitions, so on and so forth. So the video tomorrow is going to cover that. So I know that the other video that I did on crypto has become very, very popular over the last maybe month or so. So this will provide a little bit more of an in-depth look at that tax side from HMRC's point of view. I will link down in the video's description where you can actually go to the source material and stuff, but that will come along tomorrow evening. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good evening, whatever it is that you decide to do. And yes, we will speak again tomorrow and Q&As through the week. Cheers, guys. Thank you so much.